As a small business owner, have you ever felt overwhelmed by the pressure of choosing the right hire or leading a team? Or have you ever found yourself tolerating a bad hire because you fear trying and failing again as you repeat the hiring process? If so, you're not alone, and you are in the right place. Welcome to the Growing Your Team podcast. The Growing Your Team podcast teaches business owners like you to expand your unique business by teaching you to master the hiring and team management process. Hiring and managing a team does not have to be a challenge. You just have to learn to do it right. And the Growing Your Team podcast teaches you how to become a confident leader who hires right every single time. Now, let's jump into the show where each episode you will learn tips on how to identify what type of help you need on your team, how to source amazing candidates, how to conduct interviews that lead you to your ideal team member, how to onboard successfully, and how to lead every person in your business so you have a team of rock stars who you are happy to pay every single paycheck. So let's jump in and teach you how to hire like a pro. Hello, Jamie Van Kuyk here, and welcome back to the Growing Your Team podcast. Today, we're going to talk about interviews, and one of the questions I get pretty frequently from my consulting clients. So as we're going through and we're helping them through the hiring process, we create and we always encourage, so even if they're doing it on their own, 2 interview guides minimum. Because there should always be at least 2 interviews before you hire someone. And this is because your first interview serves as, does this person match their resume and the basic qualifications for the job? And then interview 2 is, let's go deeper into their qualifications to see if they are the right fit. We don't want to put this all into one interview because it's too time consuming for you. It's asking a lot of time out of people for that first round interview that they're not going to be the right fit. So we don't need to ask all those additional questions. So it's a way for it to be just super short conversation. And I say super short, but you're probably looking at 20 to 30 minutes with a candidate before you do a much longer, sometimes up to an hour-long interview for that second interview. So one of the questions I get is, what should the format of these interviews be? Should we do phone for that first one, or Zoom or a similar platform for that first one? Should it be in person? And then what about the second one? Should it be in person? Should it be Zoom? Should it be, what? What should I be doing? And like so many questions in the business world, the answer is really, it depends. But here is how you can determine what is right for you. So first off, if you will be working with this person in person, or this person will be meeting your clients in person, then that second interview should 100% absolutely be in person. People show up differently face-to-face in person than they do over the phone or through Zoom. So you need to make sure that you are meeting someone in person if you or your clients are going to be working with this person in person. That's a non-negotiable. If you are someone who works from home and you're saying, I don't know if I quite feel comfortable inviting this person into my home for an interview, that is fine. There's a lot of candidates who are not going to feel comfortable going to your home when they don't know you yet for an interview. You can meet them up at a coffee shop, or you can sometimes rent places in a co-working space where you can have a conference room or an office for a day so you can conduct those interviews. If neither one of those works, the only exception I have for the second interview must be in person. If you're going to work in person, is you can do a Zoom or video interview. And then if you like a candidate, before you extend that offer, do a brief meetup at a coffee shop or something like that so you can meet in person. So both sides can feel comfortable with who they're going to work with before you extend that offer. But that little caveat there for that kind of little coffee shop meetup after the interview is only if you're working from home or something's going on where you guys meeting in person during that second interview is not the best or right thing to do. All right, so that's our in-person interview. If you work in person, meet them in person before you make your offer. So typically that's the second interview. If you are not going to work together in person, so it's a 100% remote job, that second interview should be a video interview. So whether it's Zoom, Teams, Google Meet, whatever platforms are out there that you use, do that Zoom video interview for the second interview so you can at least see visually the candidate, because chances are you're going to be working with that candidate through some sort of video conferencing as one of your communication tools when they're on. So you're going to want that, show up, see who they are and everything before you make your decision. Okay, so that brings us to the first interview. The first interview is going to be, it depends. Now, when I'm conducting interviews on behalf of my clients, typically that first interview is always a Zoom interview. For me, it's just easier to be on Zoom, have my headphones in, and be able to type and take notes and everything. So I don't have to worry about holding a phone or having it on speaker or whatnot. So it's just the easiest format for me. Occasionally, depending on the role, I might do a phone interview or give the option, but for me, it's always Zoom. So it's always that video interview. For you, I want you to decide, how are you going to communicate with this person? How is this person going to communicate with your clients? And is it different than how you're going to meet with this person for interview number 2? So if you have a team member that is going to be meeting with a lot of people over video conference, and your second interview is going to be in person, because you also need to meet this person in person, your first interview should be over that video conference because you want to see how they show up on video. If you're going to do that video conference for the second interview, because it's a fully remote position, you then have a choice. Do you want to do it 2 video conference interviews, or do you want it to be over the phone? If you're interviewing someone where they're never going to meet someone over a video conference, but they are going to call clients all the time or call vendors all the time, then maybe you want just a simple phone interview because you want to see their phone etiquette. So think about how this person's going to interact and then meet that person how in the format that they're going to interact with your clients, whether that's in person, video format, or over the phone. So you need to make sure that those things are covered. And if you say, but all 3 might happen, I need to meet them in person. So, okay, second interview is in person, but they're also going to talk to people over the phone and they're going to talk to people on Zoom. Then you can decide which of the 2 is most important. It might be the video conferencing is the most important because you want to make sure that they have the ability to really use and understand technology. I can't tell you how many people I have done Zoom interviews with where they had trouble joining Zoom, and not that it was glitchy or things like that, where they had to tell me, oh my gosh, I didn't know what I was doing. I haven't used Zoom before. I had to struggle through it and all this stuff. And then they tell me, oh, I'm super great with technology. I learn it all. I know how to use it. It's so intuitive. And I'm just like, really? Thinking in my head, because you struggled to get onto Zoom this morning. You didn't know how to turn on your camera. And it wasn't conversations like, because I know this has sometimes happened to me, I don't know what's going on. Like all of a sudden my camera's not showing and it works all the time. Here, let me troubleshoot real quick. I have no idea. Wait, you can't see me? How do I know if you can see me or not? And these things where it's like sometimes they'll show you their skills. So you want to possibly see how they're going to use technology. I personally think a lot of candidates feel more comfortable on the phone than on Zoom. That video conference, especially for that first interaction, can make some people really nervous. But on the flip side, you have some people that are going to be really nervous when they're like, I don't know who I'm talking to when I'm talking on the phone. So really decide who you're hiring and how you're going to work with this person. So just to kind of go wrap up today is the format you select for your interviews should match how you need to, I would say, quote unquote, test their ability to show up for you and your clients if they're going to be client facing. So if you or your client's going to work with them in person, one of your interviews should be in person, and that should be the second interview. If they are going to be communicating and doing a lot of their job through a video conferencing platform, one of their interviews should be through a video conferencing platform. And then phone comes in, possibly for that first interview, if the position's not going to use a lot of video conferencing platforms. So you can just do a quick phone interview. They don't have to worry about showing up on camera for that first interview just to get it done with. And if you're a business owner who doesn't like showing up on camera a lot, then it gives you the option to do a phone interview as well for that first interview. So choose the format that matches how you and your clients are going to work with this person. So that way you make sure that they are showing up as you need them. And once again, if you're working with them in person, always meet them in person before you make your offer. If for some reason you cannot meet them in person during the hiring process, during the interview process, schedule a one-off meeting to meet in person before you extend that final offer. All right, so I hope this helps you figure out what format is best for you when you create your hiring process. And of course, if you have any questions, I'm always here to help. Are you ready to hire a new team member for your business and you want to ensure you hire the person who can succeed in the role, make you happy, and positively impact your bottom line? Then let's talk and see how growing your team can help you master the art of hiring. Through bespoke hiring frameworks and comprehensive guidance, you will learn how to attract candidates who have the passion you desire and the skills needed to succeed. At Growing Your Team, women entrepreneurs and leaders work with us to help them expand their unique businesses by teaching them how to hire like a pro. Let's connect and see how we can help you. Send me an email at jamie@growingyourteam.com. That's Jamie, Jamie, @growingyourteam.com, or head on over to growingyourteam.com/jumpstart, with jumpstart being all one word, and let's talk about how you can become a confident leader who hires right every single time.